What's going on, Dolphins fans? It is your boy Dillon. It's been a minute since I made a video. Obviously, we're kind of in that little part of the off season now where, you know, there's not really a lot going on. We're in between, you know, voluntary mini camp and rookie training camp. So, you know, there's a little bit of a lull period. You know, people are off with family, doing other things, training, whatever, you know. And of course, this is the time where, you know, the media just, you know, they like to make rumors. They like to just, you know, put out fluff pieces, just whatever kind of random thing they can figure out. You know, they like to try and stir drama or, you know, whatever. Not just for us, but just around the league, right? Because they're bored. They don't really have a lot to report on. So, but obviously that will be changing soon, as, you know, we are drawing closer and closer to, you know, training camp and everything. So, you know, I do expect that it will be heating up, and, you know, we'll get back to making, you know, videos frequently. So, you know, look out for that. Be ready for that. They'll probably start coming, you know, a lot quicker once we start getting into training camp and there's actually, like, you know, newsworthy stuff. So, you know, how things are going, how players are developing, you know, if there's any injuries, hopefully not, you know, so we'll see. But I also, but I'm making this video because I wanted to let you guys know about a roster move that was just made. And also too, I would like to give you an update on the depth chart getting ready to go into rookie mini camp, and, you know, and then obviously training camp after that. So the new addition is a quarterback. He went undrafted out of the University of Miami, Malik Rosier. So now I believe that gives us Ryan Fitzpatrick, Josh Allen, Jake Rudock, Malik Rosier. I think that is now it overall. So, you know, and one of these young guys could end up on practice squad. You know, they have a camp, you know, he's a camp arm, if nothing else. So we'll see, you know, how that goes. And, you know, it's another guy that, you know, could maybe rise to the top. So we'll see. I don't know much about him, you know, other than just a little bit I've seen in reporting so far. So, you know, we'll see how he goes and does in camp. So let me go ahead now and actually just, I want to update you. I did find like a little depth chart or whatever, but it's so not, you know, anywhere close to, gonna be anywhere near close to accurate. It was just like, you know, some random website or whatever, but they do have all the updated names for all the players that are here currently. So, minus the one player they don't have is the new quarterback, Malik Rosier, who I just told you about. But anyway, so for our wide receiver room, we have Devontae Parker, Isaiah Ford, Albert Wilson, Reese Horn, Kenny Stills, Ricardo Lewis, Jakeem Grant, and Bryce Butler. Ooh, excuse me. So, I mean, when you look at, you know, Devontae Parker, Kenny Stills, Bryce Butler, Jakeem Grant, Albert Wilson, you know, I mean, with just those guys, you know, Devontae Parker is still kind of, you know, whatever. I mean, he's got to show it. He's got to prove it, you know, blah, 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 whatever. But it's a solid group. And then you have some, you know, young guys that were just brought in this year who, you know, we didn't take a wide receiver as a pick, right? No, we took a running back and a fullback, I think, in our picks. And then we took one or two wide receivers as undrafted free agents. But anyway, that's a pretty solid group. So the wide receiving core looks all right. You know, I do like a lot of those guys. And, you know, there's a lot of good things. They can certainly be dynamic. There's obviously still a lot of speed there, you know, with Butler and Parker and Ford, there's a bit more size. So it's an interesting group going forward. So definitely something they can build on there. For our offensive line, right now we have, you know, Laramie Tunsil, Isaac Asiata, Daniel Kilgore, Jesse Davis, Zach Stirrup, Jared Jones-Smith, Chris Reed, Michael Dieter, Isaiah Prince, Michael Dunn, and Connor Hilland. So, you know, obviously that's going to be one of the weakest areas of the team. going into the year. You know, Tunsil's fabulous. Kilgore's is definitely serviceable, at least at center. Jesse Davis, we expect, will probably hold down right guard. Zach Stirrup is probably the lead for that right tackle. You know, the left guard spot's definitely pretty open. But I mean, most of those left guard, center, right guard, and right tackle are all up for grabs, frankly. You know, and we have the draft pick, Michael Dieter, you know, and some guys that we brought in as undrafted free agents and stuff. Chris Reed is obviously, you know, a guy we picked up in free agency. So we'll see. I mean, the offensive line is going to be one of the units that has the most to prove this year. And if they struggle, then this team is going to struggle, and pretty mightily. So we'll see. Tight ends, I mean, we got enough of them for sure. But we do got a mix of young guys, veterans. We do have a mix of guys who, you know, can, you know, do things in the pass game, guys who can do things in pass protection, run protection, blocking, right? So, you know, it's an interesting bunch, and I think that they do have potential. I mean, I thought it was kind of silly and pointless to bring in, you know, Walford and Dwayne Allen. But we'll see how it works out. I mean, right now, you know, they got bodies, right? So they got bodies to fill spots, right? To fill starting spots, to fill depth spots, right? They got bodies. The question is are they gonna, you know, perform, right? And a lot of these guys, like I said, like the Chris Reeds, you know, so far they haven't, you know, done anything really except for be like, you know, career backup, so on and so forth. So, and then a lot of these guys are super unknown. You know, guys came from the AAF. You have guys that are undrafted free agents, blah, 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 right? So and then our draft class, there's just a lot of unknowns and stuff like that. So it's really going to be a, you know, see as we go year. It's definitely going to be a super see as we go year. You know, but the tight ends I do like overall. I mean, I do really like Mike Gesicki. I think he's got a lot of potential. He does need to get better at his blocking for sure, but you know, he seems to show a willingness for it. So I think he can be taught, and he can get better at that with practice. I want to see him, you know, definitely open up our pass game, and we need a tight end that can catch passes. So I do really look forward to him. Dwayne Allen obviously is around. I really did like what Nick O'Leary did for us last year. And then Durham Smythe and Clive Walford. So those are our tight ends. Our quarterback room right now, like I said, is Ryan Fitzpatrick, Josh Allen, Jake Ruddock, and then the new guy, Malik Rosier. Our running backs, I do like the running backs. I mean, our running back room, we have a fullback for the first time in like forever, so that's interesting. But, you know, there's Kenyon Drake, Kalen Ballage, Myles Gaskin, the guy we just, one of our draft picks this year. Kenneth Farrow, and Chandler Cox is our fullback. So, look, I mean, the offense, here's the thing, right? So, when you look at the skill guys, right now, the wide receivers, the tight ends, and the running backs / fullbacks, right, look solid, look great in a lot of ways. There's a lot of potential there. There's a lot of room for growth and so on and so forth. The problem is none of those skill guys really matter for shit, unfortunately, if you don't have an offensive line that can, you know, open up holes in the run game, or, you know, protect the quarterback, you know, when he drops back to pass. And then the other thing is, well, you know, if you don't have a quarterback, you know, that's adequate enough, especially if you have a terrible offensive line, well, then you're really going to be hurting. Those are the two, you know, again, as I've said before, I don't play into the hype that the quarterback is as important as everybody says, but I do think obviously the quarterback is more important than, like, you know, the wide receivers and running backs, frankly, right? But I think that above the quarterback is the trenches. The offensive line is more important than the quarterback, right? But at the end of the day, right, it is still 11 guys and all 11 guys that are on the field. So you need 11 starters or 11 guys that are going to be playing that can execute properly. But if you do, if I am breaking it down into positions, I definitely think the offensive line is more important than the quarterback, and then the skill guys, right? And then the secondary, what's the word I'm looking for? Where the support guys, I'm thinking like Call of Duty right now, where you got like the support class, right? For anybody who plays like Call of Duty or whatever, I haven't played in a minute, but you got like the support class, right? Like that's what like fucking the wide receivers and shit are, right? Like you have your offensive line, which is like the big guys, the heavy guys, with the big guns and stuff like that, and then your quarterback. Anyway, whatever. Stupid. Don't mind me with the stupid analogies to whatever. Anyway, point is, right, so the offensive line, if our offensive line sucks and if the quarterback play is not good, then the rest of those guys don't matter. So we'll have to see how all that pans out. Whatever. But I mean, if they can get, over the next few years, right, especially like with the drafts and stuff, I mean, if they can get the quarterback and the offensive line situations fixed, then there's definitely potential for them to have success. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be a long road. They have a super huge hill to climb and, whatever. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but there is certainly potential there. They gotta... They have such a small margin of error, right? I think. I mean, maybe, other people think differently, but from the way I see it, they have a very, very small margin of error. Not just like in the sense of like this year, and if they want to have like a successful season this year, or even over like the next couple years. Right? Like, I'm not talking about each year individually necessarily, although I am in part talking about that. So like, they have a lot of work to do if they want to have, a year like this year, if they want to even get close to 500. I mean, unfortunately, the reality of the situation is it's going to be tough for this team to win 8 games. Super tough. It's going to be tough for this team to win 4 games, frankly, when you consider, a first-year head coach and a first-year, like, entire new staff. Half of the team is brand new. You had the massive purge, chemistry, culture, all those things, and then the schedule, blah, 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 blah. Just all the things that go into it, right? So, unfortunately, right now, the odds are not really looking in our favor in that regard. So they have a lot of work to do, if they want to overcome that, right? But then also on the macro scale, the larger scale, not just this year or next year individually, but then again, if they have a lot of work to do, because if for the next 3 years they end up producing sub 500 seasons, or worse even, then it's a highly, possible situation that the ownership and the fan base are not going to give them, the full 5 years to see if they can correct it and, right the ship. And that's, as I've said many times, a major concern of mine. If this fan base doesn't get the instant gratification that they want, and if we suck for a few years, then I'm concerned that the coaching staff and whatever, we're just going to end up, being in the same position we are now and were this offseason. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but there is potential. They do have a lot of talent. So we'll see. So getting to the defense now, our defensive ends, we have Jonathan Woodard, Tank Carradine, Charles Harris. According to this, those are our only defensive ends, but they listed 2, 4, 6, 8. We have 9 defensive tackles. They list them as left and right defensive tackles, so that's a 4-3, but we are going to be playing a 4-3-3-4 hybrid, so I'm just going to list all the defensive linemen for you. Jonathan Woodard, Tank Carradine, Devon Godshaw, Christian Wilkins, Charles Harris, Kendrick Norton, Akeem Spence, Jamal Wiltz, Vincent Taylor, Joy Mubu, Jamias Pittman, and Durval Neto. So, I think on the defense, that's going to be the weakest area of the team, for the defensive side of the ball, at least going in. You know, again, some of these guys, I like a lot of these guys. I really like Devon Godchon, Vincent Taylor. I think those were great pickups for the last regime. Christian Wilkins, I really like the kid as a player and as a person, so hopefully he can you know, produce for us and be a key contributor. Just because I didn't like how they approached the entire draft after it all wrapped up doesn't mean I don't like the kid, right? So I disagree fundamentally with how they approached the draft and the way they handled it, as I've, you know, told you guys in my previous videos. But I still like the kid, and he still has a lot of potential. He did really well in college. He had a lot of production and stuff, so he's got a lot of talent and a lot of potential and a high ceiling, so I do really like him. I think Charles Harris still does have a lot of potential. I don't think that it is fair yet to judge him. He's still in his rookie contract. I think that every player should be given at least their rookie contract time-wise before you can, you know, give them any kind of real judgment. Jonathan Woodard has done good stuff for us. Akeem Spence is a good veteran to have around to help, you know, work that middle. I don't really know most of the other guys. Jamias Pittman did a couple good things for us at one point, but he, you know, was just mostly a backup or reserve. He got more playing time because our defensive line got seriously beat up. But a lot of these guys, you know, Jamal Wiltz, Joey Amubu, Durval Neto, Kendrick Norton, Tank Care, you know, they're just unknown guys. So we'll have to see, you know, and how it ends up shaking out after, you know, cut downs and who makes the team, who ends up on practice squad. I really like our linebackers, honestly. Overall, I mean, right now we have Jerome Baker, Raekwon McMillan, Kiko Alonso, great. I think they're all going to be fabulous. We still have Chase Allen, Mike Hull, Quentin Poling, I think are good serviceable backups. And then we still have, you know, and then we have Andrew Van Ginkel, one of our draft picks, James Burgess, Tyrone Holmes, Sam Egwavian, and Jaron Elliott. So we have a ton of guys. Obviously, you know, we're going to trim some of that fat after the 90-man shake down to the 53 and the practice squad. But I really do love our linebacking core overall. And I think that they're going to do some good things for us, especially, you know, I mean, you know, we'll see. I mean, our defense, you know, our defense is going to be a lot different than it used to be, not just personnel-wise, but scheme too. I mean, we've been running a 4-3 for quite some time now. I'm not sure how long exactly, but, you know, I know it's been for quite a while, certainly for the past several years, so it's going to be different. So we'll see how it shakes out, but I do like our linebackers overall. And so for the cornerbacks, we have Bobby McCain. I love him. He needs to be in the slot, though. That's where he needs to live. Xavier Howard, obviously, is going to be on one side. Then we have Eric Rowe, who will probably end up manning the other side unless somebody, you know, distinguishes themselves in training camp. But he's the guy that right now I would think. But we still have Cornell Armstrong and Torrey McTyer, a couple young guys. Cordray Tankersley, Jalen Davis, a few young guys. So we got options there that hopefully can grow and develop and become, you know, what we would like them to be. We definitely need somebody to solidify that second cornerback spot opposite Howard. And that way we can allow you know, Bobby McCain to play in the slot, and we don't need to use Minkah Fitzpatrick as a corner. He needs to play as a safety. But so for our safeties, I really like our safeties. We got Minkah Fitzpatrick, TJ McDonald, Rashad Jones, Chris Lamons, Maurice Smith, and Walt Aikens. I love our safeties. I mean, I'm really happy with those. So, you know, I think that for our defense, as it stands right now, the way I'm looking at it is our defense is probably going to end up being our strong suit, right? We're going to be the defense will be stronger from the back as it moves forward. I'm just, as of right now, obviously things could change. You know, maybe some of these linemen really step up and show that they hold down in the run game, you know, make teams one-dimensional, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But a lot of them are unproven. We don't know right now, so we'll have to see. But right now, I think the defense will probably be the strength. I think we're going to struggle on offense probably throughout the entirety of the season, but for sure at the beginning of the season, I think we're going to have a hard time on offense because of the state of the offensive line and quarterback situation. So we'll see. But there is a lot of potential with this team. They got to develop these guys. They got to, you know, prove me wrong. You know, if they prove me wrong with the guys that they drafted and, you know, brought in with free agency and so on and so forth, you know, I mean, if this team, you know, performs above expectations, if, you know, they do well enough not to get fired in the first 3 years, and if maybe, you know, we start being competitive soon, then, you know, they'll have proven me wrong, and there is potential for that. There's definitely potential for that, but they got to get things right. And, you know, like I said, it's gonna be a really tough road. There's a massive hill to climb, and there's gonna be a lot of work that needs to be done. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, I know people hate when I juxtapose to the last regime, but I mean, aside from the massive purge of the roster, it was pretty much the same thing when Adam Gase came in. You know, he had a very you know, team with a tumultuous past couple decades. It's been rough for us. You know, he had to change the culture, all these things, right? He had to start bringing in his own guys, and he did really well in his first year, and then had some struggles in the second and third year, right? And see, you know, I think maybe that first year ended up being a curse and a downfall, because then everybody's expectations just shot through the roof, and then he wasn't given the full 5 years to see if he could bring it back to the, you know, to year one, once he got guys healthy and you know, maybe had one more draft under his belt and so on and so forth. But so, you know, it's gonna be a tough road, man. But there's definitely a lot of potential. And, you know, they can do it. You know, I know I've been super hard, but I'm just, you know, I'm keeping it real with you guys. I'm telling you guys how I feel. I'm giving you the facts, you know, and then giving you my analysis and perspective of those facts. And so, like I said, I would love to be proven wrong. I hope that they prove me wrong, and they certainly have an opportunity. So like I said, I mean, we're getting real quick, obviously. Then we also have Matt Hawk, Jason Sanders, and John Denny for our specialists. But anyway, so, you know, like I said, we're getting ready to start ramping back up. You'll start getting, you know, a lot more videos from me soon. Hopefully in the near future, within the next couple months, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get, you know, my new laptop, so that way I'll be able to, you know, do live streams for you. I'm hoping to be able to get it before football season actually starts. Hopefully for sure by the regular season, if not the preseason, because I want to be able to definitely do live streams for you guys. Also, that way I can, you know, get a better video editing software program and so on and so forth, so I can do more with my videos, make it, you know, the production bigger and better for you guys, and just keep improving for you guys, because I do this for you. I mean, I do it in part because I enjoy it. You know, it's a lot of fun. I love the Dolphins. I love talking just in general, but I love talking about the Dolphins. But I do it for you guys too, because, you know, just like everybody, you know, everybody else, right? All other Dolphins fans, you know, I'm frustrated and so on and so forth. And, you know, I have frustrations and things that I see that nobody else really talks about. So I felt like, you know, I should put my perspective out there and, you know, let people decide for themselves. You know, I mean, whatever. I think that trying not to, like, you know, tie this into, like, you know, real world, like, big scale political whatever, blah blah blah, but it's very similar. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think that just in general there's a lot of, you know, misinformation, so on and so forth. So I just want to try and, you know, hopefully put out, you know, a perspective for you that is based rooted in, you know, truth, facts, data, you know, hardcore evidence, and then I'll do my best to give you my analysis on top of that, and hopefully I can do, you know, do well at that and provide you guys with a good analysis. I mean, we'll see, you know, how things turn out, and again, just one more time, I hope they prove me wrong. I do think that this team has a lot of talent, a lot of young talent on it, so there is potential, but it is going to be a tough road, man. So but either way, I'm going to be here with you guys. I'm going to keep improving upon my channel, upon, you know, my videos and so on and so forth. I'm going to keep doing it for you guys, and we're going to be here together through the thick and thin, no matter what. Like I said, even if this regime does have sub 500 or bad seasons for the next 3 years, I advocate for them to have the full 5. Let's start doing things just right fundamentally. You know, they talk about it when it comes to the players. Well, let's do it. You know, let's do things fundamentally right, you know, on the organizational level as well. And let's continue to just always try and grow and get better. And so we'll do that together. So I look forward to it. You know, I as of right now, I'm still, unfortunately, not really high on this season. I don't have too many lofty expectations, but you know, hopefully maybe mid-season, you know, that'll change, and they'll have shown me some stuff to give me some you know, a higher level of optimism and hope for this year, not necessarily just for the future, for the whole future, but for this year even, because, you know, I mean, I want to see us be competitive. I don't want to see us just get our ass handed to us every game. So, you know, we'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. I do gotta run. I got things to do. So, but it was good to, you know, get back and make another video for you guys. Like I said, as things ramp up, I'm gonna start making more and more. So we'll get back into the thick of it very soon. So I hope you guys enjoy my videos. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.